To Exploring Temecula. In today's video, I wanted to do a short video explaining the differences between North and South Riverside County. I'm not going to explain absolutely everything in this video, so if you are thinking of moving to this area, just reach out and give me a call and I can answer all the questions you would like. I've lived in North Riverside County for 10 years, South Riverside County for 6 or 7 years. I've sold real estate in both areas, so I really know both. Not only on the real estate side, but actually living in these areas, and I can give you a lot of good information. Check out exploringtemecula.com, subscribe to the channel. We do a ton of videos of the South Riverside County areas. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was employment and housing. Regardless of where you decide you are going to move, my suggestion would be to figure out where your employment is and then buy your house near that employment. Quality of life in Southern California can be great, but it also can be horrible. I am not the person that would want to be in my car for 2 or 3 hours a day, and I strongly suggest that you do not do this if possible. Let's get into the housing part of it. Probably the biggest difference in my opinion between North and South is that there are pockets of areas North Riverside County that you just don't want to live. You know, Riverside has some beautiful areas. Corona, of course, has some beautiful areas, but every single one of these cities has areas that I personally would not live. So just be aware that when you are searching for homes, you know, if you have to go a little less square footage to get a nicer area because of your price point, I would totally do that. Instead of getting that 1,700 square foot home, get the 1,300 square foot home in the nice community in these cities. I would say that the culture and the history, especially when it comes to the homes, is going to be more on the side of Riverside and Corona, just because they're older cities, especially Riverside. If you like the craftsman style, if you like the homes built, you know, in the 1920s, 1930s, there are beautiful areas of Riverside, one specifically being Wood Streets, that you can get those type of homes. When you move South Riverside County, this area is relatively new, you know, within the last 20, 30 years. So most of the homes are going to be built from, you know, 1990 and above. You're not going to get that culture, that history in regards to homes in Temecula or Murrieta. When it comes to things to do, you know, both North and South Riverside County have everything. They have lots of golf courses. They have lots of restaurants. Temecula has a old western town called Old Town Temecula. Murrieta has the same thing. It's just not as built up or big. Riverside has the downtown area with restaurants like Mario and the Mission Inn, which is a beautiful place, a beautiful hotel that has great restaurants, a lot of history, and really it just comes down to your personal preferences. You know, Riverside has the Fox Theater, if that's what you're into. I would say and guess that outdoor activities in way of having tons of parks, having you know, lots of areas to hike, Southern California or Southern Riverside County is going to have a little bit more of that, just because we do have areas that are not as built up as Riverside County, just because they're older and it's spread out a lot more. When it comes to schooling, North Riverside County, Riverside and Corona are probably going to be your best bets for the ratings of schools. But again, just like the communities, you need to make sure where you are moving to check out which school district or which school your kids are going to be going to. Before I got into real estate around 15 years ago, I was actually teaching. There were areas of North Riverside County where I was living where I would dread to go in and teach. So I am telling you, you really need to do your research in regards to where the school and what schools your kids will be going to, because there are different school districts and there are better school districts in especially Riverside and Corona, but then there's also school districts and schools that I would not want my children going to. When it comes to South Riverside County, one of the biggest questions I always get, and I talk about it in a lot of my videos, the schools here overall are some of the best in in California as a whole. You really can't go wrong in Murrieta or Temecula when it comes to elementary, middle, and high schools. I have a video actually on my YouTube channel. I interviewed a student that just graduated high school, that she went through her whole schooling career in Temecula. Check that out. Really interesting video, and it'll give you a sense of how the Temecula School District really is superior to many throughout California. Both North and South Riverside County are really centrally located and very good for those weekend getaway type things. Just depends on what you would rather do. If you like San Diego more, obviously Temecula is going to be closer. If you want to go to LA, Riverside is going to be closer. Both Riverside and Temecula are fairly close to the mountains. I would say that the drive to the beach is a little shorter in Temecula. I can get to the beach in around 50 minutes. Riverside, it might be a little over an hour. A lot of times, yes, the traffic here can be bad, but going to the beach from Riverside, taking the 91 and the 15 freeways are tough, and they can be a nightmare. In southern Riverside County, the worst part or the worst area for traffic is going south on the 15 freeway, north on the 15 freeway, just depending on whether it's the morning or night. But overall, I would say the traffic in the Riverside area is going to be worse than southern Riverside County. So there you have it, guys. Just a really quick video. I can't get into everything. I strongly suggest that if you are thinking of moving to Southern California, more specifically Riverside County, you call me, because I can answer specific questions that you may have. A lot of people are moving to Riverside County. It's growing. I think it's one of the fastest growing counties in all of the United States. For me to be more accurate to help you personally, contact me. We can have a phone call. I appreciate it. And until next time, from Exploring Temecula.